nobody tells you that when you move to Canada, you might have to live in rooms, basements, and places you never imagined. They don't tell you that. But let me tell you my reality. Let me be the one to see it. So when I moved in 2021, I did my research before coming, exploring different accommodation options. And after watching several videos, I took the advice of some persons who said it's better to come physically and explore the places, explore the area I want to live, and just to make sure that it's real, just to make sure that it's in good condition. And that is exactly what I did. I came and I stayed in a hotel for a couple of days, and I started to explore different accommodations, apartments, townhouses, things like that. But anyway, I really thought that I'd get an apartment at first when I settled in. I really thought, but reality hit me real quick. I just ended up renting a room, and when I say a room, I mean a room with a bed and a wardrobe, and sharing living spaces like toilet and tree. I had to share living room, kitchen, those kind of things. And I stayed there for like 1 month, and I moved to another room. And although it was a bigger room, it still wasn't an actual place of my own. And every month I felt as though I was just trying to survive and not really living. That's just how it started off. And then after 2 months or so, I moved to a basement. So I was welcome to the basement life. And first I thought, okay, well, it's my own space. I have my own washroom. I don't have to share with anybody. I have my own privacy. I could cook when I want. I could do whatever, right? But then winter came, and that's when I realized basements are cold. And I had to sleep in layers. And although the landlord was living upstairs, the heater was central, so whenever they felt too hot, they will turn it off or turn it down, and it affected me. So yeah. And then talk about the lack of sunlight in the basement. It felt like as I was living under the ground, right? It felt as though I was living underground. So I moved to another basement, and this basement was even better, like upgrade to a better basement, and that's where I am right now. It is better than where I was before. But each time I tell myself, this is temporary, I'll get out soon. But the cost of living in Canada doesn't make it that easy. It doesn't. It's tough. And that's the truth. So here's the truth about renting. Renting in Canada as an immigrant is hard. It is hard. And if you don't have credits, history, or high-paying job, your options are limited. I mean, I just explored the opportunity to rent a townhouse, and everything was perfect. I had good credit score. I had the income to show, but then they said, we prefer someone who has a 2-household income. Although I showed them that I was earning enough to cover my rent, cover my expenses, and my realtor said they never really heard of that excuse. So what is this about? What do I have to do to live in a proper home in Canada? The worst part of all of this is that people back home think that you're living this luxurious life, but they don't understand. They don't know that you're in a cold basement struggling just to pay rent. You're working just to pay rent. You're working just to pay your bills, and that's it. That's what life looks like right now. I'm not saying it's going to stay that way, but that is just how it started off for me. I don't know about others. I know of people who will, give this picture of Canada as though it's some... I wouldn't want to talk about that now. But anyway, I won't lie, guys. It has been a tough journey, but one thing I've learned is that it gets better. It gets better. It will get better in time, like over a period of time, slowly, step by step. I'm working towards a better living situation, And if you're struggling in this too, just know that you're not alone. You're never alone. There's always someone who you can relate to. That's why it's so important to have a support system, someone who you could fall back on. So tell me, have you ever had to live in a room or basement as an immigrant? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Let me hear about your experience. What was the experience like for you? Did you have similar experiences to me? Was it different? Let me know in the comments and let's see if we can relate. All right, see you in my next video.